Thank you. That concludes my examination.
Not just yet, Miss Mackenzie. Would you... Thank you. Miss Mackenzie, you have given evidence about two wills. In the old will, the will that was revoked, were you not to receive the bulk of Mrs. French's estate?
Aye, that's so.
Whereas in the new will, except for a bequest to you of a small annuity, the principal beneficiary is the prisoner Leonard Vole.
It'll be a wicked injustice if he ever touches a penny of that money.
It is entirely understandable that you are antagonistic to the prisoner.
Oh, I'm not antagonistic to him. He's a shifter, scheming rascal. But I'm not antagonistic to him.
I suggest you form this opinion because his friendship with your mistress cost you the bulk of her estate.
I never liked him.
Your candor is refreshing. Now, on the night of October the 14th, you say you heard the prisoner and Mrs. French talking together. What did you hear them say?
I didn't hear what they actually said.
You mean you only heard the voices, the murmur of voices?
They were laughing.
What makes you say the man's voice was Leonard Vole's?
I know his voice well enough.
The door was closed, was it not?
Aye, that's so.
You were no doubt in a hurry to get the pattern, so you probably walked quickly past the closed door, yet you were sure you heard Leonard Vole's voice?
I was there long enough to hear what I heard.
Come, Miss Mackenzie. I'm sure you don't wish to suggest to the jury that you were eavesdropping.
I know it was him in there with her. Who else could it have been?
Exactly. What you mean is that you wanted it to be him. That's the way your mind worked. Now tell me, did Mrs. French sometimes watch television in the evening?
Yes. She was fond of a talk or a good play.
Wasn't it possible on the evening when you returned home and passed the door that what you really heard was the television and a man and woman's voices and laughter? There was a play called Lover's Leap on the television that night.
It was not the television.
Oh, why not?
Because the television was away being repaired that week. That's why.
Silence!
Odd. It's not time yet.
If my learned friend has no further questions, I would like to...
I have not quite finished. You are registered, are you not, under the National Health Insurance Act?
Aye, that's so. 4 and 6pence are paid every week. Oh, that's a terrible lot of money for a working woman to pay.
I am sure that many agree with you. Now then, Miss Mackenzie, did you recently apply to the National Health Insurance for a hearing aid?
For what?
My lord, I must protest against the manner in which this question is being put.
I will repeat the question, my lord. I asked you in a normal tone of voice, audible to everyone in open court, did you apply to the National Health Insurance for a hearing aid?
Yes, I did.
Did you get it?
No, not yet.
However, you state that you walked past a door which is 4 inches of solid oak. You heard voices, and you are willing to swear that you could distinguish the voice of the prisoner, Leonard Vole.
Who?
No further questions.
Oh, maybe you could help me, your lordship. 6 months ago, I applied for my hearing aid, and I'm still waiting for it.
My dear Miss Mackenzie, considering the rubbish that is being taught nowadays, you are missing very little. You may stand down now.